Ladies and gentlemen, we're here.
I'm part of the Kliq, isn't everybody?
Yes! 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 I got an idea, yeah. Beat up John Cena!
Give me a hell yeah!
Oh, a little bit of the bubbly.
Too sweet! It doesn't matter!
Oh, it doesn't matter!
This is where the power lies!
I am the man.
Beat me if you can survive!
It's showtime, folks!
The following episode is scheduled for one fall, and it is for your listening pleasure. This is In The Kliq.
What's up, everybody? Baby Huey here, and joining me once again is my brother Tommy. How's it going?
Hey, y'all, I'm doing good.
And also joining us is our good brother from Pro Wrestling 101 on Instagram. It's Richard. How's it going?
I'm coming to you live from beautiful Anchorage, Alaska. To the right, the beautiful tundra. To my left, Russia.
Here we are back at it for another exciting episode of In The Kliq. So much to talk about. This is going to be our Money in the Bank 2021 review, live from Texas.
The money shot review, right?
Exactly. The big money shot. Their kickoff to return of fans. Well, actually, technically, they had SmackDown in front of fans, but this past Sunday was the big pay-per-view. I think for a lot of fans, they like to consider it's like their fifth largest pay-per-view out of the big four with Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series. But Money in the Bank in recent years, over the last 10 plus years of its existence, has become like their fifth biggest, probably most anticipated pay-per-view of the year. And I would even argue it's maybe their like fourth biggest one, because Survivor Series, let's be honest, it's really turned into just an exhibition of Raw versus SmackDown people. Not a lot of stakes involved.
It's like an all-star game.
Yeah, exactly. All-star game. That's
we
a great
just
way
had
to put
the
it.
Major League Baseball all-star game, so
exactly.
I just had to reference it.
Yeah, exactly. So, but Money in the Bank is really exciting. Everyone gets amped up because, a lot of opportunities come from this show. Every year we see, a male and a female superstar who wins a Money in the Bank, and it could really jumpstart someone's career and get that big push and potentially become a world champion if they're successful in cashing in.
And to the moon, like Cameron Grimes would say.
Exactly. So Richard, I just want to start with you as far as what you overall think of this pay-per-view. Me personally, I loved it. Had so much fun watching. But yeah, what were some of your initial takeaways?
Goosebumps through the whole thing.
Yeah.
The whole thing.
Yeah.
Minus the little glitch that I'm sure we'll get into. But
oh yeah.
I
had my issues.
There was a really quick and easy remedy to that, by the way. That people were spending 5-10 minutes trying to figure out. But
oh yeah. Okay, yeah. Well, please share with that when we get to that part of the show, because it happened at kind of a crucial point in the pay-per-view. Tommy, how about yourself? What's your takeaways from the pay-per-view?
A lot of. It just felt like it had a lot of pomp and circumstance to it.
Yeah, a lot of exciting moments and just a great.
God bless Texas.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
The crowd was hot, was into it. Great reaction, a lot of exciting moments. Just really get the fan base excited again, and that's what's cool.
I only got upset with them once. You want to take a guess as to when?
The Becky chance?
Yep.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah. That was ridiculous.
I thought that was pretty disrespectful, but I think the girls figured out. We'll just show them how good we are.
And not to skip ahead, but that match alone, I think, kind of deserves some legendary status for the way they were able to turn things around, which I'll get into more of that when we get to that point in the show. But yeah, so they debuted a new set on SmackDown this week, and it's more or less the same set we saw at the pay-per-view. Richard, what'd you think of the new set? They said they're going to have a new set, and I was thinking maybe we're going to have props or something. No.
Boy, I was feeling the same way, and then once you see it, it's like, God, that is clean. That just looks big time.
Sleek, yes.
It looks like a WrestleMania stage, like a miniature traveling WrestleMania stage.
Yeah, exactly. WrestleMania 35 Exactly, that's how it looked. The one in New York. Literally, it's a huge jumbotron,
and plus
the floor,
the entranceway between the two barricades. It looks a lot narrow.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was just the sleek, clean, shiny floors. That's really cool. The superstars walk down and walk out of from the gorilla position. At first, I was kind of like, it's just a big TV screen. But then, they're able to really show the big lights and the displays and the graphics. And it's like, wow, that's visually really awesome. So I really dug that as well. So I think over time, and it looks like they updated a lot of people's graphics as well, because you got to show something on the screen. Mm-hmm. Maybe over time, I would love to maybe they even incorporate some of more of the old school, like remember in the 90s, like the highlight videos of the wrestler. So maybe they can kind of incorporate some of that. That'd be kind of cool. Yeah. So, but yeah, I'm with you. Enjoyed the set. Crowd was hot. It just felt so good to see the fans back in attendance because they just add so much to the show. Mm-hmm. And there were some moments in this show that I think really amplified and helped make these matches much more epic by the fans' reaction. So we'll just jump right to the kickoff show real quick. So for the SmackDown tag team titles, it was the Mysterios defending against the Usos. So family versus family. For a kickoff match, I think they did their job, get the crowd going, amped up before the main show started. Richard, I know you don't normally watch kickoff shows, but did you happen to catch this one?
You got to be kidding me.
You did
not? Of course
not?
I did.
Okay, good. All right, I don't know.
I was just curious because I wasn't 100% sure what time it was starting, so I turned it on. Okay. And the first thing I hear is a very loud Texas crowd chanting Kayla Braxton.
Oh.
And I'm like, okay, I'm watching this.
Okay, right on. That's cool. But yeah, I really like when the Usos come out first, and then big pop. I mean, for them, they've been part of the Big A storyline in WWE by, being associated with their cousin, Roman Reigns. But the Mysterios, it was cool. They got like a little animated, or special effects intro. They were like on some weird, I don't know what you call it, planet, like setting, and they walked through this portal, which I joked on Twitter. I was like, oh, it kind of looks like Loki. Are they going through a time traveling portal, multiverse? But sure enough, they walk through the portal with their suits on, and then they come out from to the ring in their ring gear, so they make the transformation in that portal. Part of me, I kind of wonder. So remember when they won the titles that Friday before WrestleMania, if I remember correctly, right? Was against Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode, or did they retain there? I'm blanking now.
They didn't have a match on Mania.
Correct. So what I'm getting at is, I wonder if this was a make good. This was supposed to be the entrance they were going to have for WrestleMania, but they saved it for make goods. So, but it had a big feel to them, for coming out. So I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. I wonder if this is something they would have had for WrestleMania, but they didn't actually wrestle at WrestleMania. They had to do that big super show on that Friday SmackDown before the go home episode. So I wonder, this is something maybe they had saved for a while, but it was very cool. But the match itself, I thought it was great. I mean, just
really, really good.
Yeah. I mean, the Usos, come on. The Usos are one of the greatest tag teams of the modern era. But just the back and forth was great. The ending, I really dug as far as, Ray was trying to go for that 619 on Jay, but Jimmy jumped in there, took the shot in his face, from, protect his brother. And then Jay hit the splash, for a close near fall. And then, the crowd was getting super into it. And then, Jimmy was going for the pin. And then Jay, put his legs onto his brother to really sell the pin, or to reinforce like his weight, so it would be hard for Ray to kick out. But my only complaint was the ref saw it clearly and he didn't say anything. That was my one little detail. I wish they would have kind of fixed that. So the Usos got the pin and win. Now the new SmackDown Tag Team Champions, which I was a little shocked by this. I thought the Mysterios were going to win here, and then the Usos were going to win on a bigger stage, like at SummerSlam. Are you okay with them winning on a kickoff show?
I don't think you could have put them in a better spot for success, because this is the first crowd. This is the beginning for them, This is like the first pay-per-view out of the pandemic for these guys. So I think them having the very first match, either on the pre-show or the show. I mean, look, it didn't look like anyone was out of their seats. The place looked super packed. They were ready. I think that crowd was ready for what they got, and they got an awesome moment.
Yeah, no, I think it was a great way to get the crowd going. And that's the thing. I think since it's the return of the fans, baby faces and heels aside, everyone was getting cheered for by that crowd. So even the Usos, even though they're the heels, they got a big reaction from the crowd. So great way to kind of, kick off into the main show, which I was kind of surprised they started with the women's Money in the Bank match here. But hey, what a better way to start with a bang? Let
me ask you something. Do you think it was a mistake to start with that match and not Charlotte and Rhea?
Yes. I'm glad you brought that up.
Here's why. Okay. Here's why. What I'm thinking is if you started with Rhea and Charlotte, people would have just been hyped no matter what. And had the Becky chance started during the Money in the Bank match, those matches are so chaotic, they would have faded quicker, I think, based off of chaos.
I think the reason they went with the Money in the Bank match first and then the championship afterwards is that way whoever the winner is, it kind of creates that suspense that there could potentially be a cash-in the same night. So the new winner, could potentially lurk in the background, and if the championship match, has this big finish or whatever, then
see your point.
The element of surprise, that person can run down, cash in like what Dean Ambrose did a few years ago. Bayley did on Charlotte a couple years ago. So the Money in the Bank match, I think, should go on first before the championship. So that way there could be a potential cash in the same night, which I was
Touche.
But I was a little disappointed. That's why I was shocked that Bobby Lashley and Kofi Kingston went first before the Money in the Bank, the men's Money in the Bank match. I was a little disappointed in that.
Yeah, but you still had another world title match as the main event.
True, but I mean,
we didn't. We were. If you remember, we were supposed to get Bayley against Bianca.
Yes.
So we were supposed to have two world title matches for each the men and the women.
Yeah, exactly. So no, I'm with you. I was kind of a little bummed by that, but actually I think for SmackDown, that kickoff show with the return of fans, I think having that women's championship match was probably a better fit there. It got a bigger a bigger stage. Like it had a bigger had more value there, you know what I mean, as far as this on SmackDown, everyone's watching, versus a pay-per-view, they're all big matches, so it kind of got lost in the shuffle. But dude, this women's match was just a lot of fun. I love Natty was just kind of playing spoiler, as far as every time someone else would climb the ladder, she would just run up and grab them and throw them down. Alexa Bliss, it was pretty amazing how, on social media and stuff, people for months have been hating her Fiend-like character. But yeah, when she came to the ring, she got a huge pop from the crowd.
She got an even bigger pop when she ripped off the dress.
I know, that was crazy. It was like she ripped off the schoolgirl type dress out.
I don't get this. Like, why is there so much pushback with this gimmick? Isn't there a zombie on the other show? A lady zombie on your AEW, red eyes and face.
Oh, Abaddon. She hasn't really been featured that much lately. It's been
isn't that a little more extreme than what Alexa Bliss is doing?
But they hardly used her, even when she.
Does it matter?
Well,
do you get my point? The fans don't complain about one thing, but they complain about the other.
Well, no, that character, it's a little bit different presentation as far as
bullshit. That's a cop out bullshit.
Well, now she's not doing any magic or anything. She just crawls out, goes blah, and has
if someone did that on the streets, you would have them institutionalized.
Well, the character, but she's not like doing magic and getting like a ton of TV time that Alexa Bliss was getting.
These are the same fans that complain about it should be more like the Attitude Era. The Undertaker never really shot lightning bolts out of his hands.
No, I get what you're saying as far as, but what I'm just trying to say
Venus didn't have his dick cut off.
Well, really?
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, man, after all these years, I thought it was... No, but Abaddon and Alexa Bliss, two different characters as far as...
but they're like both characters. It's a character. Like, that's the thing. Like, if you don't like the character, I'm not saying you, I'm saying the fans.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you don't like the character, you can't like one thing that's out of this world and not like the other.
Well, I think
like, you're choosing what you don't like because you don't like it because WWE's doing it. That's why people don't like it.
And I'm with you with that. I think there are a lot of people just hate on WWE because they are the big corporation. They're the big number one company,
and they're still watching.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It was crazy how many people on Twitter I saw were talking about WWE who have not watched in a long time.
But they were watching the show.
Yeah. No, and that was, I thought was very funny. And this is not anyone in particular. It was multiple people I saw commenting. And
I've got a guy on my page that always comments when I put something WWE down. Oh, is so-and-so still wrestling? Oh, I didn't even know. I don't even watch anymore. And then last night, all of a sudden, he seems to know what everything's going on in the world of WWE.
Yeah, exactly. So, no, with Alexa Bliss, I think the issue is for the longest time, for months on end, she was just sitting in the funhouse or her version of the funhouse, the playground, not really doing anything, not really wrestling. It just feel like they were kind of spinning their wheels and the story wasn't progressing enough. And I think that, for me at least, that was kind of my frustration. It's like, I want to see her wrestle.
It's the same thing Bray would do. But How is that any different than when Bray Wyatt did? And Bray's not there right now. She is filling in that role.
At least Bray had more elements in the room that were
Bray owned it. It was his. It started with him.
Yeah.
So I think, but like, people liked it when Alexa got introduced, but when Bray's gone, they don't care anymore.
Yeah. Well, and so the other thing too is with Alexa Bliss. So let me ask you this though. At one moment, she uses like the power to try to get the briefcase down. Didn't happen. Or, the force-like powers.
See, that's WWE's mistake. Because she should have done that, and it should have lowered.
Like just a little bit.
Like it slowly should have started to lower.
Yeah. Just to kind of, because she looked kind of ridiculous just standing there and like nothing's happening. But, and then what do you think about later on when her and Zelina Vega were both going up the ladder and they both stared at each other?
I like that.
And then Alexa Bliss like had her under her spell and they started coming back down the ladder. Do you like that? You think that was cool? You like that part?
I do.
I like her ring gear because it's very punk goth oriented.
Yeah.
I mean, punk goth.
It's hot topic
look.
hot.
But it's also kind of in the influence of Tim Burton.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely, I'm cool with this gimmick or this look more for ring gear because actually she looks more, ready to fight and throw down. So that's what I'm into it. But man, I mean, listen, I think a lot of people going into this were hoping Liv Morgan was going to win because that was kind of like the story they were telling on SmackDown for weeks of like this underdog that everyone was overlooking. Other people were getting put in the match and not looking at her.
I thought the way that this ended was the best ending for any match last night.
Really? How so?
Because everyone was feuding. Everyone was throwing punches. And she crawled up between two ladders, in between people, not bumping into them on her way up, and just grabbed it. And it wasn't like, it was, because like, I didn't know what happened at first.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was genuinely like, wait, what? Like, I wasn't really thinking, like, where's Nikki Ash? And, so the fact that she like just snuck in there, like she got me. So it
was cool. Like, I think right before that, how everyone ganged up on Alexa Bliss and like buried her under all the ladders. So it was like, all right, I guess they're like, F this girl's crazy. We're going to just literally bury her. So I was kind of worried it's going to be like a Fiend Hell in a Cell 2.0 from 2019. But
crowd didn't like that.
Yeah, they were kind of booing that, but all these ladies, Nikki Ash, I should say, or Nikki ASH, that's the proper way of saying it. She did the cross body, so she was flying. I like that, like playing up the superhero character that she likes to fly. But Liv Morgan, even though she did not win, I think she still looked very strong. And I'm really hopeful that this could be some positive momentum for her to carry over for her singles run on SmackDown.
I think it's a great tester for them to see how over she was. Because when she came out, I didn't feel like she got a giant pop.
Mm-hmm.
But through the course of the match and her taking bumps, it felt like the crowd's really getting behind her. And I think that's something that WWE looks at and they take value in stock in.
Yeah, exactly. So, but the ending, I'm with you. I really much like the ending as far as, the 6 remaining ladies were all up top fighting, going after it. And then Nikki Cross, or Nikki ASH, just, little old her sneaks up through everyone and just grabs a briefcase. Part of me was like, ladies, none of you are going to attack her from going right by you guys, like right over your shoulder. But I thought it was a really unique way for her to win. And, despite she didn't get the biggest pop coming out to the ring, but the crowd ate it up and gave her a big ovation and was super happy for her. And she just got super emotional. It was great.
I felt, having a new gimmick like this for her, it's kind of a clean slate.
Yep.
And once you win the Money in the Bank, this is a big push for her. So that's how I feel.
Yeah. And that's the thing is, Richard, though, my only concern is, it's a superhero character. I hope they take it seriously. I do think the fans are going to love it, very much like Mighty Molly or, Hurricane Helms.
Rosie,
yes. Yeah, exactly. I want everyone, to take it seriously, but she could be the fun underdog that everyone roots for. I just worried, though, that it might become too comedic and she might get the Otis treatment as a Money in the Bank winner. That's what I'm worried for.
I'm going to guess that she cashes it in for tag titles.
We have not seen that before. That could be interesting. Yep. I know she has history with Charlotte Flair in the last couple months. Those 2-minute challenges she was doing or whatever.
That was
with
Nikki
her.
Cross.
That
was Nikki Cross. This is Nikki Ash.
She's stronger now. She's a superhero.
Is she a superhero? She's a superhero in training.
Almost superhero. In training.
She's like Wonder Woman.
Which I think Hurricane Helms, Mighty Molly need to come out and train her, training montage.
They are working there now.
Yes, they are. Yeah, even Molly Holly as well. I would love to see that. But anyway, no, I hope they treat her, book her strong now. I just don't want this to be another wasted opportunity. And they did say on commentary, every women's Money in the Bank winner has been successful cashing in, because granted, it's only been around for a few years that they've been doing it. I don't want her to become the first person to cash in and lose and not actually be successful. That's my only concern I'm worried for. So we'll wait and see what happens. But nonetheless, super happy for her. That was awesome. Next up for the Raw tag titles, we saw AJ Styles and Omos taking on the Viking Raiders here. I'm telling you, Richard, AJ Styles and Omos, they're, booked as heels. The crowd was super into them.
Yeah. I mean, there's something about he really is like the second coming of Kevin Nash.
Yeah.
He's just a big, I don't know where they found him or what he was doing before wrestling, but boy, oh boy, what a monster.
He played basketball.
Yeah, and I haven't watched it yet, but apparently Kevin Nash, who was on Stone Cold's new Broken Skull session that just came out yesterday, he said he's been working with Omos. So that's cool. I was like, all right, that's awesome. Kevin Nash, big man.
Big sexy.
Yeah, exactly.
Big daddy cool.
So, but this match was really good. I know the Viking Raiders haven't gotten too much momentum.
That's the adjective.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry.
But no, Omos, every time, he's only had a handful of matches in WWE, but I think he keeps getting better and better in the ring.
Of course. Look at Braun Strowman when he debuted.
Yeah, exactly.
He came out and he had just put a chokehold on people.
Yeah. But Omos, he's doing great. The power moves as a big man. And I like how he'll come in and dominate, but AJ Styles will come in, and AJ always kind of lose some of that momentum, so Omos has to kind of save the day. But I love the spot where Omos picks up AJ like a weapon.
Oh my God!
Throws him outside, and AJ does the Hurricane Rana on the Viking Raiders.
Yeah, perfection.
That was so good. I love that.
That is why they call him phenomenal.
Exactly, yeah. But that tandem offense between the big man, small guy, combo, I'm all for that, and I want to see more of that in the near future. But Omos, got the victory here, so they retain their titles. Awesome for them. I am hoping for maybe just early prediction. I would love to see AJ Styles and Omos take on Riddle and Randy Orton at SummerSlam for the tag titles. I think that'll be a huge.
That'd be fun.
That'll be a lot of fun. And if Riddle and Randy can win there on the big stage, dude, they're gonna get a huge pop. That's what I want to see.
I'll up you one.
What's that?
What if it's a TLC match, and you throw in the New Day, and you throw in the Viking Raiders?
Fatal 4-Way?
Fatal 4-Way TLC.
Yeah, that'd be great. I'm all for it, man, because they're going to treat SummerSlam like a WrestleMania 2.0. So that was great. But Tommy, anything else from this match that stood out for you?
I just feel like tag team matches are almost always hits with the crowd.
Yeah.
And I feel like WWE should invest more in the divisions with more consistent storylines. Mm-hmm. I know Vince doesn't like tag team wrestling, but, give it a go.
Yeah, no, it just shows like this tag team, if you give them proper time, the crowd eats it up. So, yeah, I wish, WWE would kind of invest more into their tag team division. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, moving forward. But no, anyway, these guys were great in this match. A lot of fun. All right, next up, I got to be honest, Richard. This is maybe low-key my favorite match of the night, just because how one-sided it was. Bobby Lashley defending the WWE Championship against Kofi Kingston.
Go on.
To me, this is how a match with a guy the size of Bobby Lashley and Kofi should go.
Exactly.
And I have no issues with Kofi having competitive matches with Randy Orton or anyone of that ilk.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But like if Kofi were to have a competitive match with Bobby Lashley or Brock Lesnar or The Big Show or Kane or The Undertaker, people of that stature, he should not be having competitive matches just based on size.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
He's not Chris Benoit.
Yeah.
So like that's the exception there. Like he's not at that level. And that's not even popularity. That's just skill level.
Well,
if Daniel Bryan can make it believable because Daniel Bryan will take the big guy and chop him down from the legs and make it equal. He'll break him down so the guy can't use his strengths, and when he lifts Daniel Bryan, he can fall over. Kofi just kicks and has some cool moves and says New Day. So, like, this is how Bobby Lashley is elevated even more to me because Kofi is a world champion, a former world champion, and it doesn't hurt Kofi. Because Kofi is they said it in commentary, he's one of the most decorated wrestlers in WWE history between tag team titles and singles titles.
Yeah,
Let's not forget, he's a former world champion and intercontinental champion, United States champion.
Grand Slam.
The guy is a monster.
Yeah, it's just though I feel a little sad for him because between this match and the Brock Lesnar match, he gets destroyed. Like Brock Lesnar in 8 seconds, Bobby Lashley here, even though it was like 7 minutes, it was so one-sided of a squash match. But I get the story that they're trying to tell here. Bobby Lashley last week felt he was getting soft, losing his edge. He cut an amazing promo explaining where he's coming from, destroyed the set. And he's like, he needs to get back to business. Who is he? And
remember, Kofi challenged him. And I think this is a perfect case of be careful what you ask for.
Oh, absolutely. Totally. Especially because MVP was kind of poking the bear with Kofi, per se. But no, this match, it perfectly told the story of Bobby Lashley kind of collecting himself and kind of getting back on track of what made him WWE champion in the first place, being this dominant monster. And, for the last, month or two, he's been kind of more partying with the ladies, the sexy ladies coming with him in his VIP room. And he's kind of, not as focused. And so the fact that he kind of like had all those ladies removed from the ring and he kind of collected himself and he's back being focused, being this dominant monster. And this match proved that. And no, it was a lot of fun. Just, he had him in the Hurt Lock and he was doing Ron Simmons' Dominator move. So no, dude, great match. Even though it was a squash match, it perfectly told the story.
And also with Bobby Lashley, we have in a sea of like lousy forearms in professional wrestling, his work punches really stand out. I mean, it's not Jerry Lawler-esque, but he just does a good job of what he does with the punches.
That's the thing with Bobby Lashley and Richard. This is something I've kind of noticed. You got to give WWE credit between Bobby Lashley and Roman Reigns as they're both respected top champions. They've been both booked very strong.
Yes.
And even Drew McIntyre last year. So in the last year and a half,
established some newer people.
Yeah, but I love how they've been really being respectful to the champions, booking them strong and treating them as like the top dogs. And so it's like if you're WWE champion or heavyweight champion of some sort, universal champion, that says a lot. It says you are truly the top of your peers and you're booked very strong. And then whoever eventually does beat you, they're going to be a made person in that case because they beat the best of the best. So I really like how they've been treating the booking of both champions, treating them very strong in that case. So especially it's a good make good because, you look at the last couple years with Brock Lesnar was champion, not hardly there, all that stuff. So.
But at the same time, Brock beat everybody. Like, he wasn't there every week. He was there for pay-per-views.
And when he showed up, it was special. And I get that.
He showed up and delivered. But Brock was important to be the WWE, or the Universal Champion, because he established that belt. He made people care about the belt.
So no, for Bobby Lashley, I'm excited. I want to see more of him. I want to see him kick more ass. So I love that. So next up, we saw Charlotte Flair take on Rhea Ripley. Rhea was defending the Raw Women's Championship. Now, Richard, so you were saying, before the show, before this match, the crowd started chanting, we want Becky, we want Becky.
They started right when the bell rang.
And I'm with you. I was like, come on, people. Like, that's ridiculous. Yeah. Like, what? The same people probably chant CM Punk or what? It's just ridiculous. Like, it's so disrespectful to the competitors in the ring. In this case, Charlotte and Rhea Ripley here.
I will say, I don't know if you saw this, but I guess sometime in the last 24 hours. Oh, by the way, Becky Lynch was in the building, and she was in the crowd last night with a wig on.
Is that for real, though? I haven't seen anyone pick up on it.
She changed her heading on her Twitter account today to where she lives is forever in Charlotte's head.
Okay, I'm trying to look up, see more of if there's any photos of her from the crowd. You can't look on Instagram. But no, I will say this match was amazing. One, I thought it was very funny. You see Charlotte flip off the crowd.
Ooh, why did they black that out?
I know, but they blacked it out.
Pay-per-view.
But then when they came back on, you still saw it afterwards. So it was like a bad timing.
That was ridiculous.
But I love how physical this match was. And by the end of this match, the crowd was chanting for them. So I think for Charlotte Flair or Rhea Ripley, I got to give them mad props for the fact that they were able to turn that crowd 180 that were originally against them in favor of them. That is amazing, and I give such huge props for them. That's hard to do when you're in a situation where the crowd's against you, but by the end of your match they're in favor of you and cheering for you. That is amazing. But this match was, I think, Richard, their best match yet between the two of them. It was a little bit bumpy the last few months, but yeah, it was. I really enjoyed it.
See, I don't think you can go wrong with those two on pay-per-view. So, I just feel like no matter what, they can have tag team matches on Raw and whatnot, but when it comes to pay-per-view, I mean, Charlotte Flair always delivers on pay-per-view. They give me one pay-per-view Charlotte Flair wasn't amazing at. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I really like the finish, though, as far as Charlotte took Rhea's leg and put it in the steps and just started stomping the steps.
And she did the bending out of the ring figure four, and she just was going for that leg. But I thought it was really well done in the fact that I could have sworn I would have bet real money that Rhea Ripley was going to come out the winner of that. And I wasn't rooting for her. I like her, but I just didn't think that they were going to put it on Charlotte right now.
And Rhea Ripley Charlotte hit the natural selection from the top rope or the second rope.
Oh, that was great.
That was awesome.
Has she done that before?
I don't think so. She normally just does it, standing on the mat, on the floor. No, but
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
What do you make of Charlotte doing that back elbow that Andrade used to do? Is that like a rebellious thing, or is that like what do you make of that?
I just think it's
trying to be cute.
Two lovers sharing each other's arsenal. They're trying to improve. I think Andrade's trying to help his fiance expand her arsenal in the ring.
Oh, okay. So that's why Seth Rollins took on the disarm her and the Bex play.
Well, Seth's got a lot of offense. He's got plenty of stuff to work with on his own. I don't know. I have no idea. I mean, maybe, who knows? I mean, I don't know if she's answered that in an interview or anything, but
you know what I did take out of this after that match, though?
What's that?
I feel like it really, really sucks. Is that 1 week before the crowds come back, Bayley gets hurt.
Oh, absolutely. No, I do feel very bad for Bayley that she got hurt, and
I hope she gets a giant reaction when she comes back.
Oh, absolutely. Totally. Because part of me, I was thinking this, like The Miz. The Miz is hurt, but he's still showing up on TV in a wheelchair. So I was thinking, I wonder if Bayley could still be on TV, but be in a wheelchair, still have a presence on TV. But then when she does come back, though, it wouldn't be as special because we wouldn't have missed her because we still see her every week. So, like The Miz, whenever The Miz is able to wrestle again, be like, oh, okay, we've already been watching him already. He hasn't gone anywhere, so it's not as special. So, I think in Bayley's situation, this actually might play in her favor. She's going to get a huge pop when she does eventually return next year. So, but I said when Charlotte was beating up Rhea's leg in the steps and then brought her back in and hit the figure 4 on her, I thought it was just a beautiful but also just intense way to set up her submission hold for the finish, and Charlotte wins. It's interesting because on Twitter they said she's a 14-time champion, but then on Raw tonight, just skipping ahead, they said she's 11-time champion. So are they taking away the NXT championship wins?
It could have just been a slip of the tongue.
No, but they tweeted it out yesterday. It was official graphic, 14 times.
No, I'm saying the mistake tonight.
No, she said, Charlotte said, I'm a 1-time Divas champion. I'm a 5-time SmackDown champion. And I'm now a 5-time Raw champion. I'm 11-time women's champion.
She didn't say NXT.
Yeah, she didn't count NXT. So are they only going to focus?
I don't know. Who cares? Who the hell cares? It doesn't matter.
Tommy, how about you? What'd you think of this match?
Oh, it was just fun and intense,
Yeah.
All of that.
Richard, are you cool with Charlotte being champion once again? I know there's haters out there be like, oh, look at this. She's champion once again.
You know I'm fair to Flair.
Exactly. I just, hey, just give her strong opponents. I mean, who knows?
I think she should have double the amount that Rick had. So that's all I'm saying.
And at this point, she's still very young, man. If she goes for like another 10, 15 years, she'll totally double him and John Cena for that matter.
Yeah.
But this match, it's, I think it's setting up potentially maybe Charlotte versus Becky SummerSlam. If I had to guess, like what they're going to go here.
I don't know if they're going to throw out Rhea yet. So I would bet on a triple threat.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but great match here. And I just, like I said, respect to both of them for get the crowd back on their side. And that's something, looking back on this rivalry, that I think you can really focus on is how they were able to take a crowd back into their favor. Like I said, I was still just so impressed by that. So next up was the Money in the Bank, the men's match. We missed all the entrances because the Peacock was just going cuckoo. Was Johnny Gargano say
cuckoo bananas?
Cuckoo bananas, just flickering. I thought it was my cable.
I did too. Mm-hmm. It took me forever to realize it wasn't. I think Nakamura was coming out, and it's like I texted William, and I was like, "Is your stream messed up?"
And what was his too acting up?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's like, yeah, I thought it was just me. It's like, oh, God,
I saw people on Reddit were complaining about it. I saw people on Twitter were complaining about it. So I was not alone.
Here's your quick little fix it. If this ever happens to you again, exit out of the program, not close out Peacock, but leave that part of Peacock and go to another section.
Yeah.
Like TV or movies.
Okay.
Because when you do that, it automatically refreshes those pages. Because if you just click out of what you were watching and you click back on it, it doesn't refresh because it's a live stream.
Yeah.
So if you go somewhere else and then come back immediately, like instantly it's fixed.
Yeah, what I ended up doing, I just closed out a Peacock completely, and then I reopened it, and it worked. Yeah.
Okay, or that.
So, yeah.
Okay.
So I closed the app and then reopened it, and same thing, Tommy. And then I saw a lot of people saying the same thing on Twitter. So, it worked there. But yeah, unfortunately, I missed all the entrances. But apparently, Riddle was singing Randy Orton's theme song in the back.
Oh my God.
And, Drew had a big entrance with the sword and the stone type of thing. I don't know. I saw the GIF of it online. But this match I was super looking forward to. I love the beginning of the match. You got like the two guys with the most drip in WWE, John Morrison from Raw, Seth from SmackDown, and they're like teaming up together. So I don't know if they were the Drip Brothers or something, what their tag team name would be, but I love them working together and just taking out everyone. That was really cool.
I concur.
Yeah. But then, listen, Drew looked great in this match. But sure enough, Jinder and his boys came and attacked him.
Love that. Loved it.
So there was a lot of people thinking he was just going to win Money in the Bank.
Well, and the beauty is that Drew can't challenge Bobby outright. So if he wins that, he can challenge him. But,
True.
Like the fact that Jinder now took that away. I mean, people have wanted this Jinder and Drew thing for a little bit now, and I think this sets it up really nicely.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I know last week Drew beat up Jinder's motorcycle, and that was kind of funny. But the thing is, with Drew here, it adds some legit heat. It's like, dude, you took away my opportunity to get another title shot. And so it adds already heat to their rivalry and they already have history already with 3-man band and all that stuff. So, I'm excited to see more of this storyline. And I think this is a good way to keep Drew busy outside of the title scene, the main event scene. And Jinder is a reliable opponent. He's also a former WWE champion. So I'm looking forward to that. I even dug Riddle and Shinsuke Nakamura, that little sequence they had.
I thought that was really, really cool.
Smooth. And then, God, Ricochet.
Nakamura's on fire again recently.
I know. Dude, total rock star. It's, but Ricochet, he did his part in this match with the high flying stuff.
Might also attribute to the genius that is Vince McMahon. Is that you take away what the people love the most about Nakamura, which is his music and him being a good guy. And then way later down the road, you give it back. And now, they were singing during the match.
Yeah, and that's cool. Seeing the crowd, get into it. But Ricochet, dude, the human highlight machine. Like, the fact that he bounced off the rope, springboard into a flip onto the guys on the outside. Oh, so good. That was so good. Seth Rollins powerbombing Kevin Owens on the ladder on the outside. Dude, that was, oh my God, that looked painful.
That was brutal. That was brutal.
Painful.
He had to have been concussed after that.
But, and like I said, going back to Drew real quick, I like how they dragged him out. He was knocked out, and like they dragged him his feet, outward. That was cool.
It's funny because at first I'm thinking, what are the Viking Raiders doing out there? And I was like, oh, it's Jinder and the boys.
Yeah. So, and then even who was it? Riddle was like celebrating when some guys did some big spots as well. So Riddle being a total character in this match. So it was a lot of fun. And ultimately, Big E, he does the big ending on Seth Rollins from the top of the ladders. Amazing, a spot right there.
It was a total cliffhanger moment.
And then he goes back up and gets the briefcase, and he's now Mr. Money in the Bank. Super happy for him.
Yeah.
Rich, are you happy with this decision, with this ending here?
Step one.
So I wonder what goes. Like I don't know if he really goes after Roman, but does he maybe go to Raw and challenges Bobby Lashley and try to get payback for hurting his best friends in the New Day? Like, that story is right there for them to take.
I haven't thought about that. That's interesting.
But you know what I'm saying? It writes itself as far as, okay, dude, you beat up.
If anyone's watching Raw tonight, it looks like Bobby Lashley's got his hands full with two other people.
Yeah, so we'll see how that goes. But no, I really enjoyed this Money in the Bank match. It wasn't super long as well. It was like under 20 minutes, so didn't overstay its welcome. It was very entertaining. So congrats, Big E, and what they're going to do next with him. All right, main event time. Roman Reigns defending the Universal Championship against Edge here. I wanted to mention earlier when they were celebrating the Back to Usos. What do you think of that whole interaction with the Usos and Roman? How Roman's like those are my titles, but you guys hold on to them, and how he was claiming it's because of me that you guys are champions. And he told Jay, like, I brought you back. Remember, you were gone for the last few weeks, and he just looked at Jimmy and you like he was
the same. It's the same stuff they've been doing on SmackDown. That's my feelings towards it.
Are you getting a little burnt out from that?
No, I don't know. You keep asking me every week what my feelings are.
Well, that's the thing. It's like
it's the same thing. You're asking me because they're giving us the same thing.
Well, that's the thing. It's like I kind of want to see this progress a little bit more. That's like where we're going with this. They kind of have these interactions backstage, but it's kind of getting repetitive. Yeah, that's my only concern. So, yeah. But the main event itself, I mean, it was a long one.
I enjoyed it.
How long was this?
It was like 30-something minutes.
Stellar.
You cool with that long?
I like matches.
33 minutes and 10 seconds.
Okay, there you go.
I mean, the match itself, I mean, it was absolutely stellar.
A little bit of a slow burn in the beginning, but it really, this type of match went well with the crowd because Roman was interacting with the crowd.
Style. I loved Roman interacting with the crowd.
Yeah, exactly.
It was like at WrestleMania.
Them to acknowledge him. It's just like he was mean in this match to the crowd and like trash talking Edge and just like really loved his. This was, to me, this is Roman Reigns' best match ever.
Really?
For me. This was his best work doing anything because he sold his ass off.
Yeah,
his heel work was at its max. It was, to me, great storytelling.
His psychology was tremendous during this match.
Yes. I thought the Usos coming out, and then the Mysterios coming out, and then Seth Rollins coming out, and the fact that like it looked like Seth cost him it, and then when Seth left, I legitimately, oh my God, Edge is going to win it because Edge had a little,
momentum there.
Oh yeah.
And it's just like, oh God, he's beating this. Like he's gonna get the win. And then Seth came back. And it's like, oh, you bastard.
Yeah. No, it was a very overbooked finish, but I'm happy. I'm okay with that because it plays in favor to the heel.
Yeah.
It worked.
Overbooked finishes, I think, are good for heel win, which is fine.
Yeah.
Can I comment on the mom at ringside?
Yeah.
She was like, I love you, Roman. And the kid's reaction was like, are you serious? Don't embarrass me, man.
I know, that was pretty funny. That's been making the rounds.
That when I saw that live, I was laughing.
I know. I mean, like, I know they do this spot a lot, but, Roman was trying to go for a spear, but Edge jumped out of the way and he hit the barricade. And then when he got...
That crowd was so hot for this match. Like, from the jump. Like, let's go Edge, let's go Roman. That was like max volume.
Yeah.
Or so you thought.
Well, then Edge, hit the spear right after. That was cool. But with Seth, the reason, keep in mind, he ran back down because after he lost the Money in the Bank, he was like, that's it. I'm going to jump the line. I'm next in line for whoever wins this. Yep. And so he gets involved. I was kind of like, I was almost thinking, could Edge win this? And then Seth Rollins challenged him for the Universal Championship at SummerSlam. I was like, are they really going to go with this potential storyline here? But yeah, no, Seth gets involved. I really thought I was with you, Rich. I thought Edge is going to win this. Like, that drama, I was like, that's awesome. This emotional roller coaster. But yeah, ultimately, because of Seth's interference, Roman wins. He retains. Yep. Looks like it's going to be Seth versus Edge at SummerSlam. But it's going to be interesting because it's like, shouldn't Seth go after Roman, or want Edge to win? That way it would be an easier opponent for him taking on Edge. But the crowd was so into it, booing him, and then Roman grabbed the microphone and told he wanted the whole world to acknowledge him. So that was great, and the crowd's booing, and all of a sudden we hear, woo. I can't even do
Oh,
that.
wait. I every time I hear his theme, it's to
right.
me it sounds like apple dough.
So, but John Cena song.
John Cena song. John Cena song.
John Cena comes out, runs out. Crowd goes crazy.
Bananas.
Dude, Richard, I've not heard pop like that in a long time. Like, seriously.
That was Road Warriors worthy. That was
Stone
Hulk
Cold.
Hogan worthy.
Stone
That was
Cold
Stone Cold
pop.
worthy.
Or when
That
Brock came back.
Yeah.
That was bigger than the one that they like to tout from Madison Square Garden at the Royal Rumble. This was a bigger pop for John Cena than his return.
Yeah. Dude, goosebumps watching it. And he comes out, doesn't say anything. He just stares at Roman, does a "you can't see me," gets on the rope, celebrate, doesn't do anything on the microphone. And then they end the show there. So, well, I'm happy to see John Cena's back. Spoiler alert, if you watch Raw, he kicks off the show and kind of explains his actions. So I'll let you guys see that for yourselves. To what's next for him. It's definitely setting up Cena versus Roman for SummerSlam. So, tune in to Raw for more on that promo. Great promo to kick off the show. So, listen, Money in the Bank was so much fun. Loved it. It just overall, Money in the Bank was just a great show. I'm happy to see the fans back. They really made that show just even much better. It was already a great just wrestling show, but just the fans involved. So all good stuff. All right, let's start wrapping things up. Richard, where can the Kliqsters find you online?
You can find me on Instagram at Pro Wrestling 101.
And Tommy?
Hey, you could follow me on Twitter and Instagram at IronFist1982.
I'm Baby Huey. Follow me on Facebook at Baby Huey Official, Twitter and Instagram at Baby Huey83. For everything else, at In The Kliq. Subscribe to us on YouTube, on your favorite podcast platform, inthekliq@gmail.com. Merch by clicking the link in the bio. And all that good stuff. We always appreciate the support. And on that note, let's go home. And that's the bottom line because Huey said so.